In the beginning, the stars themselves whispered of devotion, and the void listened with a patient, unblinking eye. The Imperium of man, vast beyond comprehension, older than memory, heavier than the weight of any single soul, rests not on the strength of warriors, nor the fury of engines, nor the steel of its fortresses. It rests on faith. Faith, not as a fleeting candle in the darkness, but as a cathedral of thought stretching across a million worlds, each brick and spire shaped by hands that will never touch the heavens they revere. From Terra, the throne world of mankind, to the distant, forgotten colonies of the segmentum obscurus, devotion moves like a tide. Its waves are silent, unseen, yet inexorably shaping the lives of billions. The Adeptus Administratum, unseen stewards of bureaucracy, worship not at an altar but at the altar of law, ritual, and memory. Their faith is not in the saints, nor in the emperor's sword, but in the order of things, the unyielding record of existence, the meticulous balance of cause and consequence, the sacred weight of the ledger. Every census, every ledger, every petition filed and stamped is an act of devotion. Where the battle-hardened warrior kneels before the emperor's might, the scribes of the administratum kneel before his will made manifest in ink and parchment. In their silence, the Imperium finds its stability. In their patience, the empire finds its eternity. In the grand hall of the administratum on Terra, ceilings arch like the vaults of the sky itself. Light filters through stained panes depicting the triumphs of millennia, victories of the emperor, triumphs over heresy, the faithful burning as candles of hope against the night. Here, the servants of faith toil without glory, unheralded. Their chants are not vocal, they are the soft scratching of quills, the rolling of seals, the rhythmic hum of cogitators translating devotion into law. They are the quiet priests of a civilization whose very survival depends on the unseen. It is said that a single scribe of the administratum can weigh the future of a world in his careful calculation. A census missed, a datum corrupted, a petition ignored. These are sins as grave as heresy, capable of tipping the scales of entire systems. And yet, no trumpet heralds their vigilance. No war cries honor their names. Theirs is a devotion expressed in the perfection of procedure, in the sanctity of records, in the unbroken line of transmission from one hand to another, from one generation to the next. Faith in the Imperium is never passive. It is a force that courses through every layer of existence, binding the living to the dead and the unborn to the present. To the faithful, the emperor is not merely a ruler, but the embodiment of order itself, a being whose will manifests in the countless acts of devotion performed across the stars. Even the administratum, the quietest of servants, participates in this cosmic liturgy. Each form filed, each seal pressed, each signature authenticated becomes a prayer whispered into the machinery of the galaxy. There is a story, oft repeated in the hushed corridors of power, of the world of Zephyria Secundus. A planet on the edge of the segmentum solar, torn by rebellion and the decay of old bureaucratic neglect, teetered on the brink of collapse. No fleet of battleships arrived to intervene. No warrior of the Adeptus Astartes marched across its plains. Instead, a single registrar, an unremarkable man known only to a few, uncovered an error buried in decades-old tax records, a discrepancy that, if corrected, allowed food and resources to flow once more to starving cities. In his silent devotion, he saved billions, and yet, his name exists now only in the archival records he meticulously maintained. This is faith made manifest, invisible, quiet, absolute. The rituals of the administratum mirror those of the imperial cult. Every act is precise, every motion a liturgy. Documents are treated with reverence, seals are sacred, ink is blessed, and quills are tools of divine will. In these acts, devotion becomes tangible. In these small, painstaking gestures, the faith of an entire galaxy finds anchor. Faith, in the Imperium, is both shield and blade. It shields the populace from the chaos of the void, from the gnawing entropy that seeks to erode all that is ordered. It is a blade against despair, cutting through fear and doubt with the certainty of purpose. Even the lowliest citizen, bowing before a sanctioned chapel or reciting prayers by rote, participates in the same grand liturgy as the scribes, the priests, and the warriors. Each act, however small, reinforces the chain that binds the galaxy together. Yet, faith is not without cost. It demands absolute obedience, total surrender to the will of the emperor and the dictates of the Imperium. Doubt is heresy, hesitation a sin, and curiosity without sanction a dangerous spark. And still, it is in this crucible that the true power of faith emerges, not blind submission, but a quiet resilience that outlasts starfires, planetary sieges, and the slow decay of worlds. The Administratum, in its austere devotion, reminds us that faith is not merely belief. It is the conscious choice to uphold order when the universe itself conspires to unravel it. Faith is written not only in scripture but in ledgers, in memos, in the endless bureaucracy that hums like the heartbeat of the Imperium. The quietest voice, the smallest gesture, may be the one that ensures the survival of billions. For in the grand tapestry of the galaxy, it is often the invisible threads that bear the greatest weight. And so, the Administratum endures. Its corridors are silent, its halls echo only with the soft rhythms of devotion. Time passes, emperors rise and fall, fleets are lost and rebuilt, but the scribes continue their vigil. Each census completed, each petition answered, each seal affixed is a hymn. Each act is a testament to the power of faith expressed not in fire or fury, but in patience, diligence, and an unshakable reverence for the order of things. In the vast cathedral of stars, where the voices of heroes and gods ring loud and clear, the quiet hymns of the Administratum may go unheard. Yet, it is these silent prayers that allow the Imperium to endure. Faith, in its purest form, is not performed for applause. It is performed because it must be, because the universe is indifferent and only devotion can bend it to purpose. And thus the galaxy turns, and thus the faithful serve, not for glory, not for praise, but because the Emperor wills it, and in their silence, the Imperium breathes. The stars look down upon their ceaseless devotion, unmoved yet attentive, indifferent yet watchful. And somewhere, amidst the unending scrolls, the ledgers, and the petitions, the quiet gods of the Imperium continue their work, faithful, eternal, unbroken. For in the stillness of devotion lies a power that no blade, no fire, no void can destroy. Across 1,000,000 worlds, the drums of war never cease. The Imperium is built on war. Every planet, every star system, every human soul is caught in a cycle of conflict older than memory. Here, war is not chaos, it is purpose. It is the fire that forges order, the test that measures faith, the trial that shapes the future. In the void, colossal fleets drift like silent predators. Ships the size of cities float through darkness, their engines humming like the heartbeat of a galaxy. Each vessel carries thousands of souls, their lives bound together by duty, ritual, and the certainty that they serve something greater than themselves. On the surface of war-torn worlds, battlefields stretch beyond the horizon. Smoke rises from craters, and the air smells of scorched earth and iron. Soldiers march in disciplined lines, their armor reflecting the harsh light of suns they may never see again. Every step, every shot fired, every command obeyed is a hymn of loyalty to the Emperor and the Imperium. Yet war is more than blood and fire. It is memory and sacrifice. Each victory carries a price, each loss leaves scars that echo through generations. The Adeptus Administratum ensures that no life, no deed, no loss is forgotten. Every name is recorded, every action logged, every hero honored in the cold clarity of the records. This meticulous care gives meaning to the endless slaughter. Without it, war would be meaningless chaos. The warriors of the Imperium are not gods, but they are chosen. From the towering Astartes to the rank-and-file guardsmen, each is bound by duty and faith. They fight not for glory but because they must. Each battle is a test of devotion, a chance to prove that humanity can endure even the most merciless trials. In the heart of every battle lies strategy. The generals of the Imperium are masters of calculation, predicting the movements of millions, balancing risk and reward across planets and sectors. Each decision can save or doom countless lives. In this, war becomes a kind of worship, a ritual of order imposed upon the chaos of existence. The horrors of war are vast. Tyrannid swarms devour entire cities, orc hordes crash like storms, heretical cults strike from within. Yet the Imperium persists. It persists because of faith, because of discipline, because of the countless silent sacrifices made on every world. War tests the Imperium's strength, but it also proves its resilience. In the Administratum, the records of war are sacred. Each campaign, each fleet lost, each victory won is inscribed with care. These records are more than history. They are a testament to human perseverance, a reminder that even in the darkest hour, the Imperium endures. The pulse of war is the pulse of life itself for the Imperium. It shapes identity, demands loyalty, and forges heroes. From Terra to the edge of the galaxy, the sound of conflict never fades, yet within it lies a strange beauty. The courage of soldiers, the sacrifice of billions, the order imposed on chaos, these are the pillars that hold the Imperium together. And as worlds burn and fleets collide, the Imperium survives, not by chance, but by the unwavering devotion of those who fight in its name. War is relentless. War is necessary. It is the pulse that drives the Imperium forward, the force that tests faith, and the crucible in which humanity proves it can endure. For in every battle, every loss, and every victory, the Imperium writes its story across the stars, eternal and unbroken. Time is not lost in the Imperium, it is recorded, preserved, and revered. The Imperium remembers. Every life, every action, every thought, is noted, catalogued, and archived. Memory is not fleeting here, it is eternal. The galaxy spins, worlds rise and fall, but the Administratum ensures that nothing is forgotten. In a civilization spread across 1,000,000 worlds, memory is the thread that holds humanity together. On Terra, endless halls of archives stretch beyond sight. Stacks of data slates, cogitator banks, and parchment-filled ledgers reach into shadowed heights. Custodians move silently through these halls, their steps echoing like whispers of 1,000 lifetimes. Each document they handle carries the weight of history. Every census, every report, every account of war, diplomacy, and faith preserved for eternity. Memory in the Imperium is more than records. It is identity. Worlds remember the Emperor, colonies remember their founders, and citizens remember the sacrifices that allowed them to live. In battle, when cities burn and fleets are destroyed, memory becomes the anchor that ensures the past guides the future. Without it, the galaxy would descend into chaos, losing its way in the void. The Administratum plays the silent role of guardian of memory. In their hands, a single ledger can hold the history of a planet, the lineage of a family, the deeds of heroes long dead. Errors are unthinkable. A misrecorded detail could alter the course of billions, tipping the balance between survival and destruction. Faith, war, and governance are meaningless without the framework of remembrance. Across the galaxy, memorials and monuments serve as reminders of what once was. The bones of saints, the relics of heroes, the ruins of ancient cities, they are all memory made visible. The people of the Imperium touch them, pray before them, and recall their meaning. These acts connect the present to the past, ensuring that humanity's story is never lost, no matter how distant or broken the worlds become. Memory is also a weapon. The Imperium wields it to bind loyalty and inspire obedience. Tales of past victories bolster morale, stories of betrayal warn against heresy. Every citizen grows up surrounded by histories that shape their choices, their faith, and their devotion. Through memory, the Imperium teaches that survival is sacred, sacrifice is noble, and duty is absolute. Yet memory is fragile. Time corrodes, records decay, and truths are buried beneath layers of bureaucracy. Here, the Administratum acts as both priest and guardian. They translate fragile data into permanent records, convert oral histories into digital archives, and ensure that every lesson learned is captured for the next generation. In their meticulous care, memory becomes immortality. Some worlds exist only in memory. Planets lost to warp storms, fleets swallowed by void anomalies, civilizations erased by plague or fire. They live on only in the records kept by the Imperium. Scholars and scribes study these remnants, piecing together histories, ensuring that even the fallen continue to guide the living. The past is never truly gone, it echoes in every decision, every law, every ritual. Memory is also personal. Soldiers remember fallen comrades, governors remember lost worlds, families remember ancestors. Even the smallest recollection, of a sunrise, a smile, or a whispered prayer, becomes sacred in a galaxy defined by survival. The Imperium teaches that remembrance is a duty, and every citizen participates, consciously or not, in the collective memory of mankind. The Administratum's memory is precise, but it is also human. Clerks and registrars sometimes pause over records of tragedy or heroism, their hearts touched by stories of courage, suffering, or devotion. Though the Imperium demands impartiality, The act of remembering is never devoid of emotion. In their quiet reflection, they honor the lives recorded, ensuring that history remains alive, not merely factual. Memory preserves lessons as well as lives. Failed campaigns, heretical uprisings, and strategic errors are recorded in full. Future leaders study these records to avoid repeating mistakes. The galaxy is cruel, but in its memory, there is guidance. Wisdom is extracted from the past, shaping the decisions that will protect billions in the future. The Imperium also remembers through ritual. Festivals, ceremonies, and commemorations mark the passage of time and honor the past. Citizens march in silent processions, recite prayers, and recount stories passed through generations. These acts are as important as any record, because they embed memory in the living hearts of the people, not just in the ink of bureaucrats. Even in the emptiness of space, memory survives. Ships bear logs of journeys, battles, and discoveries. Colonists on distant worlds maintain records of their settlements, ensuring that even isolated lives contribute to the whole. Memory, in this way, becomes the lifeblood of the Imperium, connecting disparate worlds into a coherent whole. The silent work of the Administratum ensures that memory is not lost to time. Every ledger completed, every archive maintained, every story preserved is a bulwark against chaos. They serve without recognition, yet their role is critical. Without them, the galaxy would forget, and forgetting is death. The Imperium remembers because it must, and in remembering, it endures. Memory, faith, war. These pillars are inseparable. One feeds the other. Faith drives devotion, war tests resilience, and memory ensures lessons survive. In the vast, unending galaxy, memory is the thread that ties past to present, individual to collective, mortal to divine. Even as stars die and worlds crumble, the Imperium keeps its memories. It records, preserves, and reveres, ensuring that nothing is truly lost. And in that act of remembering, humanity achieves a kind of immortality, its story written across the stars, eternal and unbroken. For in the heart of every record, in the ink and the cogitator, the Imperium whispers, "We remember, we endure, we are eternal." In the Imperium, machines are not mere tools, they are sacred vessels of humanity's will. Technology in the Imperium is more than metal and circuits. It is a reflection of faith, a bridge between mortal hands and the divine purpose of the Emperor. Every engine, every cogitator, every starship is imbued with devotion, maintained with rituals older than most civilizations. To operate them is to serve, to preserve order, and to honor the Emperor's vision. In the sprawling forges of Mars, the Adeptus Mechanicus labors with reverence. Smoke and sparks fill cavernous halls as priests of machine chant over sacred assembly lines. Each part is blessed, each mechanism consecrated, each machine enshrined as a testament to the unity of faith and function. Technology here is devotion made visible, worship expressed through gears and steel. Even in the farthest reaches of the galaxy, this principle holds. On remote colonies, starports hum with the rhythm of maintenance, engines are carefully calibrated, and weapons are inspected with the same seriousness given to Scripture. No component is insignificant. A misaligned servo, a corrupted cogitator, or a damaged hull could doom billions, and the faithful treat every act of maintenance as an act of prayer. The Adeptus Administratum depends on technology to record, calculate, and transmit the vast bureaucracy of the Imperium. Data slates, cogitators, and the endless networks of the planetary systems ensure that every petition, report, and decree is faithfully delivered. These machines do not replace devotion, they amplify it. The rhythm of their operation mirrors the devotion of those who built them, trained them, and tend to them. Starships themselves are cathedrals of technology. Battle fleets drift through the void like silent titans, their hulls bristling with energy weapons and void shields, yet every bolt and conduit is sacred. The crew attends to engines with prayers and rituals, maintaining the lifeblood of the vessel. In this, technology becomes an extension of faith, a tangible expression of the Emperor's will through steel and energy. Even the simplest machines in the Imperium carry weight. Servitors, humanoid constructs, perform labor tirelessly, infused with both machine precision and ritualistic obedience. They serve without question, carrying out tasks that might overwhelm human hands. To the faithful, servitors are not soulless. They are conduits of devotion, carrying the labor of millions across the galaxy, a silent choir singing the Emperor's work into reality. In the field of battle, technology shapes survival. Titans stride across wastelands, their massive feet shaking the earth. Gun lines of the Imperial Guard thunder with weapons perfected through centuries. Starships engage in combat across the stars, guided by calculations made with devotion and precision. Technology is not neutral. It is the instrument of order imposed upon chaos, the bridge between human will and the unforgiving void. But technology is also fragile. A single misstep, a corrupted machine spirit, a misaligned cog, a faulty data link, can bring devastation. The Imperium's faithful treat these risks with reverence, performing rites, chanting prayers, and following procedures with unwavering dedication. In their hands, technology is alive. It listens, responds, and serves only those who approach it with devotion. Knowledge of machines is a sacred trust. The Adeptus Mechanicus jealously guard their secrets, believing that to misuse technology is blasphemy. But the Administratum ensures that the information flows when needed, that the engines of bureaucracy, war, and governance operate in harmony. Together, faith and technology form a symphony of order, where devotion and machinery work in unison to sustain the Imperium. On distant worlds, even civilians participate. Farmers operate irrigation systems with care, miners maintain drills, and traders rely on navigational engines to deliver goods. Every action, however mundane, is connected to the larger machinery of the galaxy. Technology, in the Imperium, is never separate from devotion. It is devotion expressed through action, calculation, and care. The maintenance of knowledge is equally vital. Every formula, blueprint, and schematic is recorded, archived, and protected. Histories of invention and innovation are preserved in the libraries of the Administratum and the vaults of the Mechanicus. To lose knowledge is to invite decay, and decay is an enemy as dangerous as any alien threat. Preservation of technology, therefore, is preservation of life itself. Even as centuries pass, technology evolves within strict bounds. Innovation is allowed only when sanctioned, only when it serves the Emperor, only when it strengthens the Imperium. Each improvement is a blessing, each failure a lesson recorded and learned. The rhythm of technological progress is slow, measured, and deliberate, but in this, it mirrors the patience of faith itself. Ultimately, technology is a mirror of the Imperium's devotion. Every cog, every engine, every starship reflects the discipline, patience, and reverence of those who maintain it. Faith guides hands, ritual guides calculations, and devotion ensures that every mechanism performs its sacred function. Without this union, the galaxy would descend into chaos. With it, humanity survives. For in every engine, every data slate, every starship drifting through the void, the devotion of millions beats like a hidden heart, unseen but vital. Technology in the Imperium is eternal, just as faith is eternal. Machines outlast men, systems outlast civilizations, and yet the devotion that created them endures. It whispers through the hum of a cogitator, the spin of a turret, the glow of a ship's engines, a reminder that in this galaxy, nothing moves without purpose, and nothing survives without faith. And so, the engines of the Imperium turn, powered not by fuel alone, but by devotion, order, and the unwavering will to endure. Destiny is not given, it is carried, forged, and endured. The Imperium is not merely a collection of worlds. It is a mission, a purpose, a burden carried by billions. From the Emperor on Terra to the smallest settlement on a fringe world, every life participates in a destiny older than memory. The galaxy is vast and uncaring, yet humanity presses forward, compelled by a vision that spans stars and centuries. Destiny in the Imperium is both gift and weight. Every citizen is born into it, every warrior marches toward it, and every scribe records it. It is not always understood, often feared, but always demanded. To live in the Imperium is to serve a purpose greater than oneself, to uphold order, to defend humanity, to ensure the survival of a civilization teetering on the edge of annihilation. The Adeptus Administratum carries destiny in silence. Their work is meticulous and unseen, yet essential. Each petition they process, each census they record, each decree they enforce is a step in the grand design. They do not question the Emperor's vision, they enact it, translating abstract purpose into practical reality. In their quiet diligence, destiny becomes tangible. The soldiers of the Imperium carry destiny on their shoulders, often unaware of the weight. They fight across worlds that may never know their names. Each battle, each victory, each loss contributes to a larger pattern, a design that stretches across space and time. The flames of war are not random. They are a forge in which the fate of humanity is tempered and tested. Even the smallest actions resonate. A governor's choice, a priest's counsel, a farmer's labor, all are threads woven into the tapestry of destiny. In a galaxy of chaos, where civilizations fall and stars die, every act matters. The Imperium survives because millions of unseen hands uphold a path laid out by duty, faith, and necessity. Destiny is also a test. Worlds are lost, fleets are destroyed, and heresy threatens to unravel centuries of order. Yet the Imperium endures. Each crisis, each disaster, each trial reinforces purpose. The citizens, soldiers, and scribes alike learn that survival is not a gift but a responsibility. Their destiny is intertwined with the survival of all humanity. The Adeptus Mechanicus understands destiny in terms of function and preservation. Machines are not mere tools, they are instruments of the Emperor's will, ensuring that humanity's path continues unbroken. Every cogitator calculation, every engine maintained, every starship launched is a deliberate act in service of a destiny larger than any one life. Prophets and scholars speak of destiny as something written in the stars. They interpret signs, record omens, and advise leaders, yet even they acknowledge the truth. Destiny is enacted, not predicted. It is not fortune or fate, but deliberate action guided by devotion and discipline. The Imperium moves not by chance but by design, its vast machinery of governance, war, and faith working in harmony to sustain purpose. Destiny demands sacrifice. Billions have given their lives to uphold it. Fleets vanish into the void, entire worlds burn in service to it, and countless heroes die nameless and unknown. Yet their deaths are not meaningless. They are proof of devotion, proof that humanity can endure even when the universe itself seems to conspire against it. Even as time stretches into millennia, destiny remains. The Imperium may stumble, it may suffer, yet it continues. Citizens are born, live, and die, and yet the purpose they inherit persists. Each generation contributes, each act reinforces the path, and every failure teaches a lesson that shapes the future. Destiny is continuity made manifest, an unbroken chain that binds past, present, and future. In the void between stars, fleets drift like silent guardians. Every pilot, every engineer, every soldier participates in a grand movement that spans the galaxy. Their actions are small in isolation, yet monumental in aggregate. Destiny in the Imperium is a sum of countless individual choices, a symphony conducted over centuries, performed by millions who may never know the role they play. On Terra, the Emperor sits immobile, yet his will permeates the galaxy. He does not act directly in every system, yet his purpose is enforced in every petition, every census, every war. The Administratum, the Mechanicus, the Imperial Guard, and even civilians serve as instruments of that will. Destiny is not a decree, it is lived through devotion, enacted through duty, and preserved through sacrifice. Even failure becomes part of destiny. Worlds that fall to chaos, fleets lost to the void, rebellions crushed in fire. These events are recorded, learned from, and incorporated into the greater design. The Imperium's path is not flawless, yet it is enduring. Destiny is not perfection, it is perseverance. The galaxy is vast, indifferent, and perilous. Yet the Imperium marches forward, guided by purpose, sustained by devotion, and bound by destiny. Destiny is quiet, patient, and relentless. It is neither mercy nor wrath, but a burden carried by countless hands across countless worlds. The Imperium survives because its citizens understand that they are part of a greater whole, that their actions echo far beyond their lifetimes, and that their service is eternal. And so, the Imperium walks its path, not by chance, not by fortune, but because billions have chosen to carry the weight of destiny, and in doing so, they endure. Silence is not absence, it is the presence of all that endures. In the Imperium, silence is rare, yet sacred. Between the roar of engines, the thunder of war, and the endless hum of bureaucracy, there exists a quieter force, one that shapes worlds, decisions, and destiny itself. Silence is the space where thought becomes devotion, where reflection becomes guidance, and where the Imperium remembers itself. On Terra, within the endless halls of the Administratum, silence is a living thing. Clerks move methodically, quills scratching, cogitators whirring, yet the atmosphere is still and profound. It is here, in these quiet moments, that the weight of the Imperium becomes tangible. Each action, each record, each decision is performed with care, not urgency. The galaxy's heartbeat can be felt in these hushed corridors. Silence carries meaning. In battle, it is the pause before the charge, the calm between volleys, the moment when strategy crystallizes in the minds of commanders. Across a dying planet, soldiers may pause to witness the dawn, a silent tribute to life that continues despite devastation. Even in suffering, silence honors what exists, what was lost, and what must endure. The Adeptus Mechanicus knows the power of silence. In sacred forges, engines rest between operations, waiting for hands and ritual to awaken them. The stillness is not emptiness, it is potential. Machines, like faith, are attentive and quiet, responding only when devotion calls them to action. Silence allows preparation, focus, and reflection, ensuring that the Imperium's power is precise and enduring. Silence in the beginning, is also the stars memory. Themselves whisper every record kept by the Administratum preserves worlds, lives, and deeds. The Imperium of man. Yet the true weight of these records is felt in their quiet presence. Heavier than a ledger does not shout a victory, nor a census proclaims survival, nor the fury their significance lies in their existence of its fortresses, silently connecting past, on faith, present, and future. Not as a fleeting candle in the darkness, the Imperium's but continuity as a cathedral of thought stretching across a million across worlds. The galaxy, each brick inspires shaped by hands that will never touch the heavens they planets revere. Abandoned, from starports deserted, the throne world of mankind, fleets adrift in the void, to the distant, each forgotten stories untold, of the segmentum sacrifices uncelebrated, devotion moves and devotion like unnoticed. Its waves are silent, unseen. The Imperium inexorably shaping the lives of silence billions. Is not empty. The Adeptus is the foundation upon which all stewards of bureaucracy. The worship not worlds, at an altar, but at the altar of law, fleets, ritual, the smallest acts of care. Their faith is not in the saints; they are the threads nor that in the Emperor's sword together, but in the order of faith things. Finds its own unyielding record of existence. The meticulous balance of cause and consequence, yet the deepest devotion is sometimes unvoiced. Every census, a scribe pausing over every petition filed, a soldier watching the stars, is an act of devotion. A citizen tending a shrine, where the battle-hardened warrior participate in a silent liturgy that sustains humanity. The scribes of the Administrative words are not before his will made manifest. Purpose and devotion speak louder than in their silence. Silence the Imperium also finds its stability, reflection. In their patience, the Imperium has endured the Empire finds its eternity, loss, in the grand hall of the Administratum. Entire civilizations have been destroyed, like the vaults and yet of the galaxy survives. Light filters through stained panes. The people of the Imperium measure the enormity of what is victories of the Emperor, understand their place over heresy. The faithful burn themselves anew to their duty against the night. Reflection ensures that the servants of faith does not toil without glory. It acts with wisdom shaped by experience. Their chants are not vocal. Even in the soft scratching of quills, silence, the rolling of seals, the rhythmic hum of cogitators, a hesitation before a command. Or the stillness of a priest in a civilization whose very survival conveys caution, respect. It is said that a single scribe of the Administratum can weigh the future of a world in his careful calculation. Silence is clarity. A census missed, it allows thought to emerge unclouded, a petition ignored to be delivered. These are sins as grave as heresy, capable of tipping the scales of entire systems. And the endless void of space is also the trumpet heralds their vigilance. The galaxy does not rest, cries yet within their name. Silence preserves purpose. Theirs is a devotion expressed in the perfection of procedure. It is active, in the sanctity of living witness to everything the unbroken that line of transmission from one hand to another, observes from one generation to the next. Without faith in the Imperium, even the mightiest is never passive. The most disciplined it is a force that courses through every layer of existence. Citizens would finding the living to the dead and the unborn silence to the present. Is perhaps the most profound. The Emperor is not solely a ruler, the lost but the embodiment of order, the destroyed itself. Fleets, a being these are remembered in quiet. Countless acts of devotion performed across the stars, and records hold their even stories. The Administratum, but it is in the silence surrounding them that their meaning participates in this cosmic liturgy. The Imperium survives because it honors the quiet as much as the loud. Each signature invisible as much as the prayer whispered into the machinery of the galaxy. Proclaimed. There is a story, oft repeated in the hushed corridors of power, between stars, of the world where danger is constant and survival uncertain. A planet on the edge of the segmentum solar, for thought, torn by rebellion and the decay of old bureaucratic neglect. It is the pause that allows devotion on the brink of collapse, courage to awaken. No fleet of battleships arrived to intervene. Without it, no warrior of the Adeptus Astartes marched across its plains. With it, even in despair, a single registrar, humanity finds an unremarkable man known only to a few, thrives not uncovered in noise, error buried in decades-old tax records, but in the quiet diligence of those who uphold. If corrected, allowed
as
food
the stars
and
wheel
resources
overhead,
to flow once more
silent
to starving
witnesses
cities.
to countless acts
In
of
his
faith,
silent devotion,
sacrifice,
he saved
and
billions,
devotion.
and
The
yet,
Imperium
his name
persists.
exists now
Fleets
only in
drift,
the archival
planets
records
spin,
he
and
meticulously
armies
maintained.
march.
Yet
This
it
is
is
the
the
faith
quiet,
made manifest,
the invisible, the
invisible,
unnoticed,
quiet,
that ensures all
absolute.
continues. The rituals of the
war,
administratum
memory,
mirror
and
those
technology
of the imperial
converge
cult.
here, in silence,
Every act is precise,
forming the unbroken
every
heart of the
motion a
galaxy.
liturgy. In this final
Documents
chapter,
are treated with
one
reverence.
truth remains. Seals are
The
sacred.
Imperium endures
Ink is
not
blessed,
because of spectacle,
and quills are
not
tools
because
of
of
divine
heroics,
will, not because
in
of
these
fire or
acts,
fury.
devotion
But because
becomes
countless hands,
tangible,
hearts,
in
and
these
minds
small,
sustain it in
painstaking
quiet.
gestures.
It is the
faith
faith
of
of
an
guardians,
entire galaxy,
the unseen
finds
scribes,
the
faithful
faithful
machinists,
in the Imperium,
and the
is
devoted
both
millions
shield
whose
and
unspoken
blade.
work shapes
It shields
the
the
galaxy.
populace from the
And when the
chaos
stars
of the void,
finally dim,
from the
and
gnawing
echoes of
entropy
battles
that
fade,
seeks to erode
the
all
Imperium
that is
will
ordered.
remain. It is
Not
a
in
blade
glory or
against
noise,
despair,
but in the
cutting
quiet
through
devotion
fear
that
and
is
doubt
carried
with
with
the
across
certainty
eternity.
of purpose. Even the lowliest citizen, bowing before a sanctioned chapel or reciting prayers by rote, participates in the same grand liturgy as the scribes, the priests, and the warriors. Each act, however small, reinforces the chain that binds the galaxy together. Yet, faith is not without cost. It demands absolute obedience, total surrender to the will of the Emperor and the dictates of the Imperium. Doubt is heresy, hesitation a sin, and curiosity without sanction a dangerous spark. And still, it is in this crucible that the true power of faith emerges, not blind submission, but a quiet resilience that outlasts starfires, planetary sieges, and the slow decay of worlds. The Administratum, in its austere devotion, reminds us that faith is not merely belief. It is the conscious choice to uphold order when the universe itself conspires to unravel it. Faith is written not only in scripture but in ledgers, in memos, in the endless bureaucracy that hums like the heartbeat of the Imperium. The quietest voice, the smallest gesture, may be the one that ensures the survival of billions. For in the grand tapestry of the galaxy, it is often the invisible threads that bear the greatest weight. And so, the Administratum endures. Its corridors are silent, its halls echo only with the soft rhythms of devotion. Time passes, emperors rise and fall, fleets are lost and rebuilt, but the scribes continue their vigil. Each census completed, each petition answered, each seal affixed is a hymn. Each act is a testament to the power of faith expressed not in fire or fury, but in patience, diligence, and an unshakable reverence for the order of things. In the vast cathedral of stars, where the voices of heroes and gods ring loud and clear, the quiet hymns of the Administratum may go unheard. Yet, it is these silent prayers that allow the Imperium to endure. Faith, in its purest form, is not performed for applause. It is performed because it must be, because the universe is indifferent and only devotion can bend it to purpose. And thus the galaxy turns, and thus the faithful serve, not for glory, not for praise, but because the Emperor wills it, and in their silence, the Imperium breathes. The stars look down upon their ceaseless devotion, unmoved yet attentive, indifferent yet watchful. And somewhere, amidst the unending scrolls, the ledgers, and the petitions, the quiet gods of the Imperium continue their work, faithful, eternal, unbroken. For in the stillness of devotion lies a power that no blade, no fire, no void can destroy. Across a million worlds, the drums of war never cease. The Imperium is built on war. Every planet, every star system, every human soul is caught in a cycle of conflict older than memory. Here, war is not chaos, it is purpose. It is the fire that forges order, the test that measures faith, the trial that shapes the future. In the void, colossal fleets drift like silent predators. Ships the size of cities float through darkness, their engines humming like the heartbeat of a galaxy. Each vessel carries thousands of souls, their lives bound together by duty, ritual, and the certainty that they serve something greater than themselves.